Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So yes, in this lecture we will be continuing with the Western thinkers. So in the last lecture we saw about a few thinkers like Thomas Aquinas, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle and stuff, and one more person. In this lecture we will be dealing with Machiavelli, Jeremy Bentham, Thomas Hobbes, John Locke and J.J. Roso. So let's look into the contributions of these thinkers. So starting from Machiavelli, see, he was an Italian philosopher who served the Republic of Florence in Italy. See, in his book, The Prince, Machiavelli writes about his method as drawing maxims or rules for the successful political behavior, which is to be learned from the history and experience. So, his philosophies on the nature of profession. See, according to him, politics is not ethics. In politics, leaders might meet such people who are not good, but and again, a leader here should not find the goodness in every profession. So, because what happens is, when a politician or person, a leader tries to find goodness in everything, goodness in politics, he or she might get hurt because politics is not a simple thing. It's a two-edged sword, to be honest. Hence, one leader should know how to be bad rather than how to be good to survive in the politics. Next is on human nature. See, he says that by nature man is selfish, coward, fickle-minded, ungrateful, fearful. See, it is again. He says that it is based on the analysis of what he observed and understanding of history. The best guide to politics, according to Machiavelli, is history. So, on the basis of observations from his times and history, he gives his views on human nature. According to him, throughout the human history, human nature has remained constant. The element, like again, as we say, we have seen that fighting war, conquering lands, killing people. Another big kingdom comes, fights war with the kingdom, captures their land, kills the slaves. So that's something which just keep on happening. It has happened in the history. Next one is advice on the qualities of leader. See, he says that leader should be clever like fox and brave like lion. And a leader must understand that politics is not a profession of goodness. So, as I said earlier on nature of profession, a leader must understand that politics is not a profession of goodness and should know how to be bad than to be good. He said like clever fox, be like clever fox and brave lion, because clever fox means you can easily understand the traps, and be like a brave lion to defend against the wolves. See, let me make it clear before going to the next topic. Machiavelli served as a philosopher in the Republic of Florence. He more emphasizingly concentrated on the politics, ethics and political part. So his writing is always related. His writing is related to polity with respect to our ethics. So please don't get confused about this politics, ethics. No, his thoughts is morely based on politics and how to deal with that. Next, on the advice on qualities of leaders, like we can also see similar views of by Kautilya, was also called Chanakya, regarding the interstate relations. See, according to Kautilya, relations between states are like jungle, where the strength of lion prevails. In the modern times, we can take into consideration, like all states need intelligence and defense to protect themselves. Otherwise, someone will come and catch you, conquer you and go. That is we are seeing in daily life. Israel, Palestine, Russia, Ukraine. These things are all the conflicts which are happening. Next is on management. See, according to Machiavelli, statecraft is the management of the power. Leaders should know how to use the power and should be a cold-blooded man and not act with passions. The power has two dimensions according to him, which is force and love, where force should be considered only after the proper calculations, and once it has been decided to use force and crush it should be done entirely, like crushing the enemy entirely and never even let him to get revenge. This is something Machiavelli speaks about. Next is religion. See, religion can be useful for leaders where it is a disciplinary force which can help the leaders. See, Machiavelli suggests that religion should not use leader. Rather, leaders should use religion for national interest. We are very well seeing that in today's Indian politics, using religion for vote banks. So, for the national interest. Okay, that is happening in the real scenario itself, which was way long back said by Machiavelli. Again, winning popularity of people. Machiavelli advises rulers to gain popularity, goodwill, and affection from their subjects. Rulers, on the hand, should prioritize the welfare and satisfaction of the people, which can again help them to maintain their support and prevent potential unrest or opposition. So, Machiavelli is a very good writer who has written long back about the politics, which is still relevant today. Coming on to the next, let's look into the Jeremy Bentham. He was a British philosopher, jurist, and a social reformer who is widely regarded as the father of modern utilitarianism. See, again, we bring into utilitarianism here. It's nothing but it is the greatest happiness of the greatest number that is measure of right and wrong. Okay, see, his philosophies include like utilitarianism. Should be based on action should be evaluated based on the utility or amount of happiness they produce and the same amount of suffering or pain they cause. So, happiness, let's say, if you are abolishing in a country, if the government decides to increase the subsidies for farmers, it increases the happiness for people. And then the similar states, and then similar stands, it increases the tax of people, it increases the suffering or pain for people. That is something utilitarianism does about. You have to compare between the utility or amount and thus implement which gets more happiness. Principle of greatest happiness. Yes, as I said earlier, it's guided by the principle of greatest happiness for the greatest number. If the more people are benefited through subsidies, yes, give it that. Next is quantitative approach. See, he believes that pleasure and pain can be assessed in terms of the intensity, duration, certainty, and other factors to calculate the overall impact. Like he is very much assured that he can calculate it quantitatively about how can that one factor, that greatest number of happiness or good can impact other people. Next is hedonic calculus. Like this is very, very important formula of Bentham utilitarianism. Like it is the central idea of his theory. He says that each government is obliged to adopt such policies which could give the greatest good of the greatest number. When we consider Jeremy Bentham, it's nothing but greatest good to the greatest number. Next, rest of the things come later. That's why many countries are of welfare related country, which helps in reducing the poverty, which again benefits thousands, lakhs, of people. That is something calculus, hedonic calculus, according to um, Jeremy Bentham. These are the few policies, philosophies which are led by Jeremy Bentham. Let's into Thomas Hobbes. See, he was again a philosopher from England, known for his best known book, Leviathan, which contains influential formulations of social contract theory. See, he gives a good war here, it's a quote here. Total liberty invites war, and submission is the best insurance against war, was said by Thomas Hobbes. So this quote makes relevant to even today. See, let's look into his philosophies. Human nature. See, according to Hume, humans are selfish, brutal, and driven by self-preservation and are incapable of preserving peace and stability. To address this, people must come together through a social contract to form a state or government. Exactly true. The thing is, people, each individual has their own desires or selfish, uh, selfish, which again brings conflict between other. To address the general conflicts on society, conflicts, people must all come together and form a state or government. This is something which must be done. A good example we can cite here is in the aftermath of any cyclone or flood, where resources become scarce, people might engage in hoarding or conflict, because here we can see that people might be struggling to get even the basic essential resources supplies. This behavior again reflects the Hobbes view that humans are driven by self-interest. I want that supply, that is for me. I have not eaten for days because I want that supply. You fight for that. So people, they fight for their own self-being, own survival, over the communal cooperation during the time of crisis when the resources are scarce. That is something human nature. State of nature. He again says that human beings always engage in the constant struggle in scarce resources to fulfill their self-interest, which can lead to war where conflict can prevail. This is very relevant again even to the current state. Humans are always engaged in constant struggles to get that scarce resources. A good example you can say it is the Rwandan genocide, which was a horrific event where over 800,000 people were killed in just 100 days. Actually, it was again motivated by ethnic hatred and exacerbated by struggle to control scarce resources like land in Rwanda. So yes, people get affected, disturbed, and eventually fight and try to get okay and say I am the king. That's something the state of nature of human being. Next is Leviathan state. In the Hobbes system, obedience to the sovereign, that is the head of the government or head of the country, is directly lied to the peace in all realms. See, the sovereign, again head, is empowered to run the government, determine laws, to be in charge of the church, that is religion, to determine the principles and adjudicate the philosophical disputes. Like he says that people do not have right to revolt against the state, and people do not possess absolute rights, and where the state should emphasize civic education to foster obedience among citizens. Like you might feel that what is this? People do not have any revolt, cannot revolt, do not possess any right. What's it? Which countries today like that? Of course, there are countries to even today. The North Korea can be considered as a modern example of a Leviathan state where people cannot revolt, people do not have rights, and the civic education is fostered to among the young and youth for proper discipline and obedience towards the state. This is something Thomas Hobbes again speaks about. Next is John Locke. He was again an English philosopher and physician who is widely regarded as the most influential Enlightenment thinkers and is often referred to as father of liberalism. He states again, state of nature. Far from being a war of all is a state, peace, goodwill, mutual assistance, and preservation. See, he says that men do not indulge in constant warfare in it, for peace and reason overcome in it. See, he says that uh, a state which has peace, goodwill, mutual assistance is very much far from the war. That is the simple thing which he says about in the state of nature. Next is liberty. See, John Locke advocated for freedom and governance. He identified three natural rights for every individual, that is life, liberty, and property. Um, a good example can be cited in the Indian Constitution, where the right to property was included in Article 19, and Article 21 upholding the right to life and liberty. This was advocated by John Locke long back in 18th century sound. No patriarchy. See, again, he was very much a relevant thing. I mean, great thinker for the contemporary times. He championed for women's rights and called for equal opportunities for them. A good example can be cited as labor reforms in India, which aim to eliminate the gender-based discrimination and ensure equal pay and opportunities for women in the workforce. Again, tolerance. He advocated for minority rights, advocated for society where different cultures coexist together. You might think, where does this exist? Again, we are living in that society. Unity in diversity. India is famous for that. Unity in diversity. That's the tolerance which John Locke advocated long back. Next is J.J. Roso. So J.J. Roso is nothing but a philosopher, writer, and composer from Geneva. Like, we can also rightly call him as the father of French Revolution because of his development, modern political, economic, and educational thought. Social contract, his philosophies. See, in his book Social Contract, he gave the conception of social contract, where he opens the book with, man is born free and everywhere he is in chains. See, one man thinks himself the master of others, but remains more of a slave than them. See, he says that man is born free. Of course, man is born free, but everywhere he is in chains. That means we are committed to one thing and keep sticking to that. Like going for a job daily. So we are committed to that thing. We are committed to that chain of going to job and keep doing that. That's what Social Contract by J.J. Roso says about. Next is general will. People are the ultimate authority in a democracy, and the sovereignty lies within the people and their collective will. Yes, this is again can be very much important. Democracy is the biggest example of collective will, where people determine who is going to power, which we saw in the recent elections, there was a tough fight between the India Alliance and NDA bloc on who will be getting into the power. Next is the state of nature. See, he says that he saw a fundamental divide between society and human nature and argued that the man was good when in the state of nature, that's during earlier phase, that before the advance of societies, when living coexisting with nature, but got corrupted due to the society. He says that. Next is education. See, he says that education should be obtained through nature rather than from the books. Like he says that it brings in creativity, free thinking, rational thinking. These things all when put into your head, it brings in very, very good education. A good example you can cite here is Rabindranath Tagore's Shantiniketan, where his idea was based on the creating free and fearless atmosphere for children to grow up in close contact with nature. So that brings into the concept of J.J. Rousseau. So today we saw five thinkers, starting from Machiavelli, Jeremy Bentham, Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and finally J.J. Rousseau. So that's it for today's lecture, guys. We have one more lecture for Western thinkers, after which we'll be getting into the Indian topics. Hope you guys understood today's lecture. The notes for the same will come only after the entire entire topic is done. Do watch the video, comment your doubts if you have any, we'll clear it. We'll resume with the next lecture soon. Thank you.